My roommate treated our apartment like his personal dumpster, so I made sure he got taken out with the trash. My roommate Jason is a 28-year-old human dumpster fire who's turned destroying living spaces into his life's work. He's never paid rent on time, never washed a dish, never taken out trash, but he has thrown over 50 apartment parties while owing us $6,400 in back rent. If responsibility had a smell, Jason wouldn't just avoid it, he'd fumigate against it. It started small when his first rent payment was 5 days late because payroll messed up, but by month 3, he'd established a pattern of paying weeks late with increasingly creative excuses. And our landlord Tim, who happened to be Jason's uncle's poker buddy, gave him more patience than any normal tenant deserved. The dishes multiplied from one sink to both sinks to counters to inside the oven, while his bathroom grew colonies of mold that seemed to have their own ecosystem, and he'd even started renting his parking spot to his dealer Marcus for $200 a month, bragging about his entrepreneurial mindset while owing us thousands. Every week, Monica and I watched him emerge from his room in the same crusty hoodie to microwave our food before disappearing without acknowledgement. And when we confronted him about anything, he'd immediately play victim, claiming we were harassing him or discriminating against his lifestyle. The breaking point came that Tuesday in November when Monica's grandmother died on Sunday night, which was devastating because the woman had raised her after her parents died in a car accident. Monica flew out Monday morning and spent 7 agonizing days planning the funeral, giving the eulogy, and sorting through 70 years of memories while grief consumed her entirely. She returned the following Sunday night with swollen eyes and complete emotional exhaustion, just wanting to collapse in her own bed and process her loss in peace. Instead, she opened her bedroom door to find the aftermath of Jason's biggest party yet, with beer cans covering her floor, cigarette burns in her grandmother's handmade quilt, vomit on her carpet, and unmistakable evidence that someone had used her bed for activities that left stains no amount of bleach could remove. Jason stumbled out of his room still drunk and actually said, "Chill out, it's just some mess," to this grieving woman who'd just buried the person who raised her. Something cold and calculating clicked into place in my mind as I watched Monica sob in her doorway, and I knew that if Jason wanted to live like human garbage, I'd make sure he got taken out with the rest of the trash. I spent the next 5 days meticulously documenting everything with my phone camera while researching tenant law, photographing the mold colonies, the garbage mountain in his closet, the bathroom that violated several health codes, and discovering that our lease had an ironclad clause about subletting that made any unauthorized rental of property grounds for immediate termination with no cure period. I compiled 8 months of bounced checks, 23 noise complaints, and screenshots of Jason's Venmo transactions from Marcus labeled parking spot into a comprehensive folder that would end his residence here permanently. I scheduled a meeting with our landlord Tim for Thursday afternoon, and when I laid out the evidence, including photos that looked like a health inspector's nightmare, documentation of $6,400 in unpaid rent, and proof of the unauthorized subletting, even Tim couldn't protect his friend's nephew anymore. The eviction notice was posted within 48 hours, giving Jason just 5 days to vacate before the sheriff would physically remove him, and watching him read it was like watching a toddler realize that tantrums don't work anymore. He screamed about tenant rights and threatened to destroy the apartment, but I calmly explained that I had videos of him bragging about subletting at parties and photos of every violation, so any damage would only add to what he already owed. Jason tried to flood his bathroom and punched holes in his walls before leaving on day 4, not realizing I'd already sent Tim updated photos that guaranteed his security deposit was gone, plus another $2,000 in damages. The eviction on his record meant no legitimate landlord would touch him, and within 2 months, he'd been kicked out of 3 different friends' places because nobody wanted to live with someone who treated every home like a dumpster. 6 months later, Jason's still couch surfing and burning bridges faster than he can build them, begging former friends for just a few nights, while complaining that background checks are discrimination against entrepreneurs. The human garbage finally got taken to the curb, and pickup day was long overdue.